Well, I was kind of born and raised on sport. Played basketball, soccer, and snowboarding. And in my final year of high school, spent more time snowboarding and decided I might leave behind the team sports and go pursue my snowboarding in Lake Louise.
Yeah, Kim!
March 26, 2000 was a powder day, so we're like, okay, screw the terrain park, we're going up, we're gonna go have some fun in the powder. So went and did one backcountry run, but it kind of comes out in the park. So we came through the park as normal, and we're like, oh, we'll just hit a couple jumps on our way through. Was worried about my speed because, you know, there's a little fresh snow on the ground. My board wasn't running that fast, and so hitting the big table like I normally did, I thought I might have trouble kind of clearing the top of the table. And so I even said to a buddy, you know, like, I'm just gonna straight line it.
Kim and I were sitting there, and she turned to me and she said, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough speed. I think I'll just straight line it. She stood up and she pinned it towards this jump. And next thing I know, Kim's up in the air, she hits the jump, feet go up over her head.
Kind of launched and corked upside down in the air. Easily cleared the flat at the top of the table and landed probably a good 20 feet beyond the transition and kind of right upside down.
I knew she was hurt bad, she wasn't moving, and obviously it was very scary seeing your friend down. Like, it's never fun to see that stuff, but you try to think the best and hope for the best, really.
And, you know, the patrollers came pretty quickly, and then they started asking kind of, you know, the standard questions that patrollers ask. Can you feel your toes? Can you wiggle your toes? And it wasn't until they said that I really realized that there was a more serious problem. I was just like, no. I'm like, I'm trying to, but I'm not, am I? And they're just like, no. I was like, oh crap, because I totally knew what that means. I'd seen sit skiers at my ski hill and known that it's a pretty cool sport well before I hurt myself, and so I think that was good incentive to like go and chase that immediately. And whether it was a way to deal with things or whatever, I had just kind of ordered the skiing equipment and was like, nope, that's what I'm going to do. You know, get your mind off of wallowing in self-pity when you have something better to shoot for. I don't know, the first few times out it's super frustrating because you like can't get yourself up, and just like every time you stop you kind of fall. But within the first couple days of doing it, you know, I was getting down a lot better and kind of being a daredevil and just straight lining it a bit and getting some speed, and you know, people would have to pick me up off the ground after I fell, but you know, at least I felt like I was going somewhere with it. But yeah, I mean, there's been lots of ups and downs, just career-wise. I suppose that happens to anyone, but lots of injuries in the way. Every couple of years I kind of had a major injury that would be either like kind of a season-ending crash, and lots of broken bones, and makes you kind of wonder if it's a really good idea to pursue this, you know. And since being in the sit ski, I've broken both ankles, my knee twice, my femur, and yeah, my nose and ribs have also suffered a lot. When a ski releases on you and you're going 80 to 100 kilometers an hour, I mean, you're strapped into this big piece of metal and you're not coming out of it. So the cartwheels that you do, you know, can be pretty dramatic. But luckily I've been away from that for a couple of years now and haven't broke anything, knock on wood, since 2005. So yeah, hopefully I keep going in that direction. The timing in which I hurt myself, I made the team right after the previous Olympics, so I had kind of a full year, 4 years to prepare for that. And you know, I had some pretty high expectations for myself, though at the time I wasn't exactly dominating the circuit, but knew that I had the potential to. Super G at the time was my best event, and I did get a bronze medal in the Super G there, but if I didn't come home with that, I would have been seriously ticked off. So, you know, I'm definitely happy with how it went, and it was a pretty neat experience. Neat to see how much more seriously everyone takes that event than everything else. The amount of media that's added into the mix, and, you know, people trying to nab you for interviews at the bottom of the course. It's kind of crazy. Last season, well, I won my first gold medal, and I got drug tested, as you often do, and tested positive for marijuana. So although it was something I was kind of using for medicinal purposes and didn't really expect it to be tested for, it was stupid of me and my mistake, and I fully admitted responsibility for that, but ended up getting a 9-month suspension. So it made me realize how much I really wanted it and what I was willing to give up to really pursue being an athlete at the highest level possible and doing what I need to do to be in that #1 position and, you know, be a full-time athlete. I guess it paid off. I got my first overall kind of #1 ranking this year. I won every race that I didn't fall in. I fell in one slalom event, so I ended up in 4th place after the 2 runs. And in one super combined, I fell in the Super G, so couldn't finish that event. And I won gold medals in all other 15 World Cup events. I hope to dominate. I'm not gonna lie, I want 5 gold medals. It's gonna be pretty awesome. I mean, it's something you have to spend a lot of time doing mental preparation for as well, because there is going to be way more people watching. Like, I don't often have friends and family in the Finnish area, and they're all going to be around, and you know they're watching. But yeah, to be able to do it in Canada and have the opportunities to train on the run, you know, before the event takes place, like, it's a huge benefit to us. You know, I still got 3 years to go, and I know that my competition will be training really hard, but like I said, I'm not done with my improvement, and I expect to do very well, as long as I can keep my head straight and not stress out. Everything, you know, my dad ever taught me and coaches growing up was, you know, be as good as you can possibly be. And if I truly believe that I can be the best athlete out there, then I'm pretty sure I can pull it off. I'm the type of person that lives with no regrets. You have to make do with the best you can with what you're given and what you give yourself. So I had some opportunities presented to me and I've made use of them. It was kind of a door opening for me that, you know, you couldn't have predicted, but like maybe I was on this path with my snowboarding, maybe I would have ended up being a pro snowboarder, maybe I wouldn't have, but you know, I was given that opportunity to do this and maybe make a career of it too, and so perhaps I'm on the path that I was always destined to be on, just in a slightly different way.